together for Vanthi. And then we have Karthi as Vandiyathevan. Everyone, come on. Let's welcome Vanathi. Vanathi. It's okay, quite funny. And our Mani Ratnam sir, the man of the hour. Everyone, please put your hands together.
त्रिपाठी नीचे बैठ यार
Let's have the mics for everyone. Perfect. Thank you so much. We'll have a photo op in the end as well. So let's begin. Alright, we have a lot of questions that the media is going to ask you, but before that, what I can see right now on this stage is a lot of talent in one frame. So much talent, and you all look so beautiful, so gorgeous, amazing, and this looks such a promising movie. And I think we all should celebrate this movie together because it's a movie about Indian history. Something that we might know, we might not know, but I'm sure that when we are going to see this movie, we'll be closer to our Indian history after watching it, right? So we'll start with our first question from JM Ravi. I want to ask you the first and foremost thing, how are you feeling after being in Delhi?
A very good evening to everyone. Hi. It's a lovely feeling being in Delhi because I have a little connection with Delhi.
Okay.
Because whenever there is IFI festival, Indian Film Festival.
Right.
So I used to be here and 10 days I used to stay here, not at a hotel or something, at a small place somewhere, just having my diary and me, taking notes from the films everywhere. And the street food in Delhi is amazing. So I used to enjoy it at night and have my own space, my own creative space, learning space. And Delhi has done that to me, and it's been wonderful. The journey has been wonderful. Thank you, all of you, for that.
Wow, so that means you have actually discovered Delhi like a localite, and that's great, right?
Yes, of course.
Alright, so that was a brilliant answer. Coming up to you, Shobita. I'm sorry for saying it wrong. You have to tell the media, what is it called, your character?
No, I want you to say it right.
You'll say it and then I'll repeat after you.
Okay, Vanathi.
Vanathi.
Yes.
Vanathi. That's the right pronunciation. Vanathi. Alright. You're a bundle of talent. We have seen you on the OTT. You've just, captured the digital platform so well. But I want to know from you that, is it different while shooting for a digital platform or for the big screen cinema? Is it difficult? Is it different? What is your take on that?
As an actor, your job largely remains the same, which is to be as truthful and as honest with your performance. But I think when it's fleshed out a lot more, you enjoy that. Sometimes that happens in films and sometimes in a show. So I think it's some stories are beautiful when they're told through a show format, and sometimes I think some stories belong with the theatrical experience. So I think as an actor, my job is unaffected by that.
Yeah, and you are truly magical on the screen regardless.
Thank you.
Alright.
डांट दिया ना थोड़ा सा.
सब चलेगा. Alright, coming to you, sir. We want to know your experience of shooting this larger than life movie. We want to know from you because you can also give us some history lessons we have seen on the internet. So, want to know that from you.
Hi everybody. Like Ravi, I also have a connection with Delhi, but closer home. My wife studied here and lived here all her life. So I was compelled to like Delhi even before I got here. She'd tell me stories about food, about the places, whatever she did here. once I came here and I realized it was all true. It's one of the most nicest places I've ever been. This is a wonderful film, which all of us are so proud to be a part of. This is something that's happened like in the 9th or 10th century. It was then, and it's based on a book. I think Karthi will be the best expert on that, so I'll skip that part. I think all of us have very interesting characters in this, and I'm doing my dream character in this called Aditya Karikalan. You have seen him on the horse. That was me. I don't know if you recognize me now, but that's me. And I've always wanted to do that, do a role that's princely and look regal and look beautiful. And how much more spectacular can it get than when it's done in a Mani Ratnam sir's movie? And it's another dream come true for me, and I'm so proud to be a part of this wonderful film and working with such a lovely, accomplished star cast. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot. Coming up to you, Trisha, you are looking absolutely beautiful. Look at that smile. We all love her, don't we? Come on. All right, Trisha.
Thank you.
I've seen you with some really heavy jewelry in the movie, right? It looks so authentic. We want to know from you, was it real, and how difficult was it shooting with all that, gehnas on you, all that jewelry?
Of course it was real. Manisa would not have it any other way. Firstly, good evening everyone, and thank you for coming here to support us. It means a lot to us. And I'm so happy to be in the capital. To be honest, I have frequently come to Delhi, but this is my first time I'm coming here for a film. And that means a lot to me to be over here, part of this magnum opus and sharing stage with, like Kenny said, some of the most accomplished actors, and to be part of Mani sir's film, to play Kundavai in this film. And Kundavai is a character that a lot of people have grown up reading. They have already visualized her, they already have been inspired by her, they have an opinion about her. So I hope that I have done justice to Kundavai. I'm sure Mani sir would answer that question better. And well, coming back to your question, yes, the jewelry was very real, head to toe. Even the things we, Kundavai or any of us wore on our heads or toes or ankles were all real jewelry, because I think that would contribute to the magnitude and grandeur of the film, which was very necessary. It had to be real to look a certain way. So, and yes, to also answer your second question, it was very tough because it took about 40 minutes to get into it. For both the men and the women, usually I feel the heroines take longer to get ready, but in this case, it was pretty hard for the guys as well. We were all up at 2 a.m. getting ready, and but it was fun because we were doing it together end of the day.
Exactly, that's
The
so
horses
beautiful.
took time to get ready.
Even the horses took time to
That's so
get
much paraphernalia.
Yeah, true that.
So much grandeur, even for the horses. Beautiful. We have the legend with us, Mani Ratnam sir. Everyone, can we all please give a big hand? So many people tried making this movie over the past few decades. So many people tried it, but finally, you are the one bringing it on the big cinemas. We want to know the journey of it all from you.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to be here. Amongst the many people who've tried before, I was also one of them. I've tried it several times. I think it is for a particular reason, probably we couldn't do it at that point of time. Today is probably the more appropriate time for this kind of film because technology has improved vastly, and so we were able to achieve a lot of it with a kind of a realistic look and not like a make-believe. So I think it was for that purpose it was left behind, and we're glad that it's been a long journey. I mean, I remember reading this book when I was in school, and from then it has been a very inspiring book, inspiring everyone in Tamil Nadu who's read it. Kalki is the name of the author who's written this, and it used to be a rage when it was published as a weekly, and since then, over all these decades, it has been the best-selling book in every book fair down south. So it is a very special book, and a lot of people have their own memories of it, their own vision of it, and they almost own it. So the only way I could do it is to believe that I also own it, and I've tried to do my best with the help of each and every one of them. All of them have put in everything, including the technicians who are all brilliant. And if at all the movie is shaped up somewhere, it's because of all of them.
Exactly. We're really looking forward to 30th September to see that grandeur on the big screen. And now, coming to the goddess of beauty with us, Aishwarya Rai Bachchan. Come on everyone, please put your hands together. We are always so delighted to see you on the big screens, and once again, we can see you there, and in the trailer you look so godly. You have this charm, you know, you are a true beauty. Look, मेरी आवाज लड़खड़ा रही है इनसे बात करते हुए. That's the charm of Aishwarya Rai Bachchan here, guys. आपसे सिर्फ ये जानना चाहती हूँ, what was your experience filming, shooting with this entire star cast, such talent, and this larger than life movie?
Firstly, thank you so very much for your generosity. It's a bit much, but I'm very, very humbled, and thank you very, very much. I'd like to thank everybody here who has come out to support our film, showing us our love, and giving us your good wishes and blessings. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. Good evening, namaskar, namaste, vanakkam, namaskaram, and I could say it in every language possible, but being Indian, we'll stick with namaste, and thank you so much for being here. This movie is a labor of love, and beginning with our Guru, Manisa, and when you just asked him that, you know, and I was listening to him, and I've heard him say it so often, and he always says, I'm glad, you know, he made it now. He doesn't know how glad we all are that he made it now. Talk about, he can say it is the right time, but for each one of us here sitting in front of you and everybody involved in the making of Ponniyin Selvan, we are very, very grateful that this is the right time. We surely have been in the right place, and with complete gratitude to you, sir, that we are part of your dream project, that we got to be part of this narrative on celluloid. It is Karthi sir's classic, and you know, everybody in the South is very, very familiar with the books, and you know, it's very close to everybody's heart who has read the book, the series of books actually. But when you discover the story, and you must, and you will, through both these movies, you will know exactly why. It is such an exciting, enticing, interesting, riveting narrative. And yes, it gives you an insight into history, and yet it has the magic of how and where it's been fictionalized, and that is why one can see why a filmmaker like Mani sir would want to bring this on celluloid as his dream project, and how fortunate we are that we got to be a part of his dream film, because it's said in the Mani Ratnam style on celluloid, and we got to be part of that. I have had the good fortune of being part of several movies which are, you know, which have had larger than life narratives, and I get often asked that how is this special? This is a Mani Ratnam movie, and that's what makes it super special, and when you go and watch it, you'll know exactly why. As an artist, I got to be part of such an amazing group of talents that have come together to work committedly and in absolute sincerity, as we'd not have it any different in a Mani Ratnam film, in a Mani Ratnam production. We all come in like students, we commit wholeheartedly. 3 o'clock in the morning is the norm, we don't even think about it, it's a given, but it's natural, and we see why. It is, like I said, it is, we all know it as Brahm Murta, we all know it as Suprabhat hour, but you see why, magic happens. There is wisdom in early to rise and getting to work. And magic happens when we're all there in it together. What an incredible cast, what an amazing group of technicians, and what a committed group of crew members, assistant directors, people who worked on set design, people who worked on, taking care of even the animals on film, all the artists and all the added crew members and added artists who have been part of the film. The costuming, I mean, everybody you see it and you go, wow, but the kind of hard work that goes into the planning, the every day of getting everything together, like you talk about the jewelry, that's one aspect, but authenticity from head to toe of every character, and to hit timelines and to go out there and to be able to allow us as actors to comfortably become the characters takes a lot of work of all the crew members. And yeah, there we are doing our work. We enjoy y'all appreciating our work on celluloid, but there are so many who will come in on those end titles that go so quickly. But full respect, absolute applause for the hard work put in by every one of them, and all our gratitude to all of them. So thank you once again, Manigaru, for having us on board, for having me yet again in your film, and it's never enough. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Garu.
Oh, thank you so much. So beautifully answered. And yes, we are ready to see that on the screen on 30th September. All the hard work is going to finally pay off at that time for everyone involved in the movie.
It's already paid off for us. The day, was the last day of the making of the film, and he has said it's done. It's paid off for us completely. So we are just grateful to be part of it, and we will cherish this forever. But yes, we'd love for the audience also to enjoy viewing it as much as we did making it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel that every film that Mani Ratnam sir makes is an absolute delight for the audiences as well. It's a gift to the audiences from Mani sir. So really looking forward for that. And now coming up to our bundle of talent there, Karthi with us. Come on everyone, can we all please give him a big round of applause? We feel that he has gone through the most history lessons. He knows the movie inside out.
That's the man.
Yes, you both are. And we know a little secret that you have been the assistant director for Mani Ratnam
It's
sir.
not a secret. Everyone knows.
So, but now you are one of the lead actors in his movie. So how's the journey been and how's been your experience?
Wow. Yeah, you have time.
Yes.
No, I don't want to. Okay. Yes, sir. No, I already said it. Very good evening to everybody. I think for me it's the first time as an actor in Delhi. It's such a pleasure to meet all of you. Thank you for coming and supporting us. I started my life, I would say life itself, as an AD with Mani sir, because that's when I discovered what I wanted to do in life. I wanted to be something in films, and I wanted to learn filmmaking with Mani sir. And all the discipline that I have till today, and the passion that I would love to have is all what I've learned watching Mani sir at work. So from being an assistant director and then taking one small gap saying, sir, I'm getting a chance to act. If it doesn't work out, I'll come back to you. And I went out with that word that he would take me back. Thankfully the film worked and then my journey changed and I became an actor. But then again I had to come back and work with sir in 2017 when I thought I completely relearned everything. That's one experience all of us have as actors, that you come here, you unlearn so many things and you relearn things. You know, that's a very important part of my life where I got another push in the sense of the way I approach the characters or the way I select films or what kind of films I would want to do. You know, rather than running after success, you have to run after happiness or what satisfies you. You know, that gave me a lot of clarity in how I approach work at all. So I think the peace that I have or the energy that I have to go to shoot, I think it all comes from Mani sir. I cannot say thanks because he's given it to me and I'm a student. But this film I think is too special for all of us, for Mani sir himself. And like we've heard films which have been made from books. Like we know of Harry Potter, we know of Lord of the Rings, which have become classics, where people have read the books and come and watched the film, then gone back and read the books again, become big bestsellers. But now in India, this is one time we're so proud to bring this film to you. This book, which was written in 1950 as a series and then published in 1955, and till today it's one of the best selling books. it's feeding so many publishers till today. It's sold so much, and finally now it's being made into a film where it is in a format where we are talking about our heritage and culture, but it also gives such an engaging screenplay, an engaging story for all of us to watch about characters. So it's not a history lesson, but rather it's a very interesting film, and it's historical fiction. So there are about 40% of it which really happened 1,000 years back, and the rest is fictionalized so beautifully by Kalki sir. So we're all very proud to be just part of it. I was telling sir, even if you want me to act as horse, I would act as a horse. That's how much everybody wanted to be part of it. And this particular film, I think sir really enjoyed making it. He's always set standards for visuals and music. And when joining with Rahman sir and presenting this film with Ravi Varman sir, all three of them, what they've done on screen was pure magic for us. Because we do not have a visual for how India looked 1,000 years back. We do not know. But now we're getting a visual to imagine how our forefathers lived here in India, and how prolific they were, how trades was happening, or how rich they were in sense of art and culture, when the rest of the world was still trying to form families and become a civilization. We already had built temples, we already had literature, poetry. So I think it's something which we have to give to our children. In that way, I think we are very, very proud of this film, and thank you for all your love and support. And like sir said, I've said the good things before in other interviews. Sir stopped hitting his assistants. So that way we are all safer now.
Thank you so much. And now I'm sure the media is all set and ready to ask a lot of questions. So the floor is all open for the media Q&A. Thank you. We can hear you, Pooja.
We talk about empowered women today, but these women are so strong in every day. You need to be head and they are the ones who are actually using power. What was it like for the three of you to play these amazing characters, giant characters of women?
Hi. What you said was something we kind of worked on even in the film, because besides looking physically different, of course, because we had to belong to that era, I felt like when I was playing Kundavai, it was actually a woman of today, very strong, very empowered, something that I could totally relate to. So that part of Kundavai was something I feel like I took from today, but I'm just put it in her. But of course, she looked different. She looked like a girl who belonged to that era. So that part of it was something that I think, I don't know how Kalki sir wrote it, because the women are so strong, sometimes even in some scenes, maybe slightly overpowering the men and having a stand. So that was really challenging. It's not like we're just standing there like princesses and queens. We're actually like over there with brain power and using our intelligence in the kingdom. And especially back in that era, it was kind of frowned upon, because there are dialogues even in the film saying, she's a woman, why is she walking into a courtroom where there are 20 men and saying these things? But that's the kind of strength the women had in Ponniyin Selvan. So yeah, that's why it was more challenging to play it.
And your character, a lot of people said that actually her antagonist, not so, she's just a woman who goes her mind. I want to ask you about playing Nandi.
That's what I wanted to acknowledge, Pooja, that the answers in your questions, because I can see an empowered woman asking the question, because you obviously respect and appreciate and acknowledge a woman of substance. And I'm glad that you have recognized that the women in this narrative are just that. They are women of substance. And firstly, full power to Kalki sir to have written this at the time that he did. Considering he was delving into a slice of a very, very impactful slice of history, and making the narrative into, like I said earlier, an engaging and an enticing fictionalized piece. then to write in characters and women, to, excuse me, sir, you're in her way. Thank you. Right. And to write characters, the women, in the way that he has, with um, who, like the ladies here will have already said and will agree with me, that they are contemporary, they're eternal. The women who will be relatable at any point in time, because women have always been strong. Women have just been given opportunity differently at different times down the ages. So what we women know is we have always had the intelligence. We have always looked for the opportunity to have contributed directly, or we definitely have indirectly, forever. And, charted the course of events, of life itself, of contributing to the thinking power of our opposite gender in all the interactions, because frankly, we're all human beings. I don't want to get into an entire narrative about now gender equality, but that the fact is that as people, we have always pretty much experienced just being human beings, and we all have thinking power, we all have experiences, and we all pretty much react. We're human beings capable of reaction, of contribution, of having an opinion. And it's wonderful in this narrative how the women too have it or find a way of expressing it. And very honestly, who better than Mani Ratnam as a maker to have brought the characters, the leading ladies in the narrative to life on celluloid, because that's something I can say from experience. In every movie I've worked with him, I've had the opportunity to be that that lady or the female character in his narrative. It's amazing. That's something he always also refers to. He's like, what are you thinking? As an actor, he wants the actor to bring to life the thought behind. It's not just the dialogue that is being said or a scene. He likes us to bring what's within to fore. And it's always been about the mind. It's always been about intelligence is not defined in the conventional way, but intelligence has always been attributed to the ladies. I have had to essay with her, whether it was Pushpa, whether it was Kalpana, whether it was Sujata, whether it was Ragini, and today Nandini. So I'm very, very grateful that at every point in time, the women in his narrative are always strong, and they always bring substance to the narrative. So it's just very, very engaging and exciting for us. Thank you, Pooja.
Hello everyone.
1 minute, even 1 minute. Shobita needs to answer this too. Please go ahead.
Hello everyone. Acha, sorry.
Hi Pooja. Hi. My experience has been, I think, slightly off-center in the sense that I've largely played parts that were slightly more steep in the kind of stories they belonged in. They were slightly more intense, and this was an opportunity for me to play somebody who was nimble-footed, someone who was light-hearted, someone who was happy and uncorrupted by human politics. But what was interesting to me was that with Manisa, I discovered that innocence, something that my character Vanati embodies, it doesn't necessarily have to be coy or like, my, Shadmili. It doesn't necessarily have to be just that. Absolute truthfulness. There is also sort of innocence in that, in just speaking your mind and having, like, thinking aloud. There's a certain innocence and naivety in that, and that is the version of innocence that he was excited to represent. So that really excited me. And I think I discovered joy for myself through the character as well, so that was special.
Hi everybody. Seema Dhawan over here. Mani sir, The film is an adaptation of the novel which was written 70 years ago, and it's written in 5 volumes. How challenging was it for you to condense it into 2 parts?
I'd be lying if I say was not challenging. It was, because I think the way he is written, and they could have made 10 many events that were happening and representing. But film needs a certain amount of structure, and this is a structure that we chose to bring it into 2 part. And so there were parts which we have to condense, and we have to bridge it. And but apart from that, the core of the novel and the core of the movie will be the same. The heart of it will be closer to what Kalki had written. That was what we were aiming at.
Hi, Ashu. My question is for Vikram sir. Hi sir, you've already worked with Aishwarya before in Ravan. So how it was to reunite with her again, and that too with the Mani Ratnam film you try? How was the experience? How do you define her as your co-actor?
I think India has some of the most beautiful women in the world, and proof is that we've gotten almost every beauty pageant. We've won almost every title. It's been going on for years. And in fact, actually, incidentally, I'm sitting on stage with 3. I think you're Miss Chennai, Miss. Everyone knows that. You're also Miss India. So that's another thing for this movie. But the thing is, all of them, they've been fabulous, but I don't know why. She's always stolen everyone's heart. I mean, due respect to these 2 people here. Every time, there have been many women who have been queens, but Ash has always been symbolic of that picture of perfection that we always look up to. And I really didn't know. I mean, I've seen her films, I watched her, and I think it wasn't just about beauty, it was what she stood for, how I've always felt she's been under a microscope. It's so very difficult being her. She's constantly being watched, constantly needs to be perfect. And let me tell you, she has done it in style. Like the first time I ever saw her was, she hadn't even got the title yet. I told her the other day before yesterday. I was in the crowd, I was still a struggling actor, I think, or hadn't even gotten it. And as she walked in, suddenly the cloth got caught in her leg and she stumbled. And I thought she's going to fall on her face. She stumbled, she did a couple of missteps, then she gathered her poise, came back and did the routine, whatever she was supposed to do. And there were so many of them, and it struck me, this person she's going places. I don't know, I sense that in her, the confidence, the poise, the grace, and she did become whoever she became. But what was nice is anywhere you go, even in Chennai, in South India, even till today, there will be jewelry stores, there will be sari stores with her picture. It always is that. And finally, when I got to work with her, I saw the other side where she's professional. And I was lucky, it's 3 films with her actually, because I'd done Ravan in Hindi too, where I was paired opposite her again. And I like the way, what she puts into a character, and it's very difficult. Now she's, actually in this movie it's even more difficult, but now she's a mother and she needs to spend time at home and she needs to give Abhishek his time, I'm sure. And in spite of all that, get her lines straight, and Aradhya, and she's growing up so fast, and and she's still under the microscope. And it's such a scary place. They always say, right, it's lonely at the top and it's very scary. And Ash, it must be so scary being who you are. But it's so nice being with you, working with you, and enjoying that chemistry that, I don't know, somehow both our films, I think, we exude a kind of chemistry which, it's very organic. We've not really worked at it, but all our fans usually keep saying, it's so nice to see you all as a pair. And the only thing is I never get her in the movies. Every movie, they knock me off.
But they are such exciting, different characters to play.
Yeah, but how many times do I have to die for you, Ash?
Here we keep them guessing, no. Here let them go and figure out.
And the other person I have great chemistry is Trisha. And with her too, one film they knock me off. Why is that? I don't know. I think they like you. Now I'm her brother. I think I kind of like this too. But working with her was that. And what I liked most about her as an actor is like I study my character a lot. I'm very focused. I'm very persistent. I'm very committed to what I do. She's so meticulous in what she does. In every shot, I'll watch her. She'll ask Santosh, Santosh, is this the range? And then she'll adjust her sari. She'll adjust. And even if it's dirt, Manisa will say, okay, come, ready, ready, ready. I'll go roll in the dust and come out. Ash will get that one piece of stone, she'll keep it there, she'll keep a straw, and the continuity will be perfect. No, not a millimeter this side, not a millimeter that side. Then the hair is just that one strand, no, not that hair, not that strand, the other strand, and stuff like that. And then when you see her dance, I mean, I competed with her when we were acting, it was obviously, but the thing is, in Hindi, when she was doing that song, I didn't realize. I was in the shot, I was holding a glass of wine, I think, and she's dancing. And I was watching her, and the shot was running, and suddenly I realized, oh, I need to do something. Oh, yeah. Like, I actually, literally, I mean, I think that's the only time I've ever forgotten myself in a shot. That's an honest confession. She dances so beautifully. It's beauty in motion. I mean, the music in motion, the way she dances. So, I mean, I'm also, obviously one of your fans, and it's such a great pleasure to work with you, Ash, and it's so nice to see you again embody all that in your role in Nandini, and all of them have very strong roles. I mean, we have strong roles too, but the women are so empowered, and Nandini, I think, like how Indava is so strong, Nandini again is a very, very strong character, and she's not the antagonist. I mean, to be very honest with you, Pooja, she's more like, hi Pooja, everybody knows you. Me too. There's no antagonist in this movie. I mean, I think Sir will agree with me. It's more about, it's not even about grey. I think everybody is justified in what they want and what they want to achieve, what they've lost. He must have felt in those first month or two when he was selecting the cast, and when he must have thought, okay, let me think of this guy for this role, or let me think of Arun Murivarma, let me think of Vandiya Thevan, or let me think of Periya Pallavi. Everybody would have imagined himself in a particular role or in all the roles. Like I would have imagined myself in all three roles. They're such wonderful roles, and they're so much more wonderful when they are with the maestro. Thank you so much. And I must just add this, I'm sorry, just take another minute. We had taken Ravan to Venice. I had the pleasure of watching it in an auditorium, and it was not the press, it was not critics, it was not anybody connected to the cinema. And they wanted us to just step in, and it was a general audience. And the movie started, and Manisa said, let's go. I said, so it's an Italian audience, let's just sit and let's just watch it. Then after another half an hour, I said, shall we go? We've seen enough of it. I said, no, so let's watch. Because we've seen a lot of shows, we've been traveling around. When the movie got over, and we got up to go, and as they stood up, two couples ran out, because I think they were late. Then the others started clapping. And we were, of course, overjoyed. The whole auditorium clapped, and they were saying, bravo, maestro, bravo. And it felt so good being there. And we were standing there because 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and he says, are they trolling us? I mean, should we leave? And I said, sir, no, sir, I think it's genuine. Let's just wait, sir. He said, should we go? I said, no, wait. And you won't believe, I swear, I'm not even kidding. They clapped for more than 5 minutes for what this man was able to bring on that screen. And what was nice is, they were not influenced by any story. They didn't know anything about any of the movies that could have, any of the stories that could have been a background for Ravan. They just saw the craft. They saw what he could bring about and how he could encase and showcase India. They loved it. And I, again, through their eyes, I saw what he saw. It was so beautiful what they saw, how they saw India. And again, you're going to see something from the 9th or 10th dynasty, the Chola dynasty, which was one of the greatest dynasties of all time in India. And the best maritime, the naval unit that they had, that was the biggest maritime army that they had. And they conquered all the way from Gujarat down, Goa, Kerala, China, Ceylon, Sri Lanka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Orissa, all the way to Burma, then they went to Malaysia, they went to Indonesia, and then they sent emissaries to China because he was so smart. The king, that's Rajaraja Chola and his father and his son, they wanted to conquer all the ports because that's the only way. Trade was what is most important. Everybody had to pass through these ports, and that's what they did. And that's the story that we're showcasing in this, and it's so nice that we're all part of this, and it's so nice that someone like Manisa can bring about that authenticity, bring it on screen, and I'm so sure you're all are going to be enthralled when you watch it. Thank you, Manisa, once again for having us on this, on board, and I was jealous of Karthi because Karthi has been an AD, So I cheated, and during this making of this movie, I also was an AD for a couple of scenes, and gave me greater pleasure than being an actor, being an AD. And thank you, Karthi. He stopped beating the ADs, so I was lucky. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you.
Towards your right, the question is for Mani sir. The book was written, the book 5-part series was written in 1950. When you adapt it in 2022, a lot has changed. People are more, if I can use the word woke, people get easily offended. So was it a challenge to adapt it or for the present times to make it more relevant? And ultimately it is a story from the pages of history. So how relevant is it in the present times?
I think it's something that is set 1,000 years back, written 70 years back, but I think it is totally relevant today. I think whatever the film speaks about is relevant today, and that is why there have been so many attempts to make it during the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, so it was relevant in all those periods. There's some elements which don't change. Human nature doesn't change, and the struggle for power, and growth, and desire, angst, jealousy, all that doesn't change. It is inherent and it is reflected in different forms. So the beauty of the book is that it captures that. The soul, the heart of it captures something which has stayed this long. And it was difficult to adapt it, but not for the reason that it's relevant today. It's absolutely relevant. It was difficult because he had written it so beautifully.
May I add to that, please? This story has all that, but Subita rightly said yesterday, she said there's another factor that we need to add in. It's about love, it's about romance, what you love something. All of us have romances in this film. Every character has a love story going. Even Nandini actually has a love story going with power, with the throne. While she's got one with me, while she's got one with her husband, and everybody, like Karthik has a love for adventure. And he's like, every woman loves him, and he is besotted by, and he loves every woman. and of course, he's captivated by Kondavai's character. Likewise, she is in love again with Ravi, and Ravi, of course, is in love with nothing. He wants to become a ascetic. He wants to become a hermit, and contrary to what he is in real life. So it's like that. In every character, there's so much of love, and I think love is universal, and love can never, outgrow time.
Just say one thing. My daughter is 9 years old. She's reading the book, and it's tough to pull her off the book.
She loves the book. She's in love with the book.
He said first. And I'm a director's actor. And if it is money, sir, there's no question. I gave my fullest concentration to him. First of all, I had that 1 hour of delay because I kept admiring Mani sir first. Whatever he was saying, this director who's made this film, that film, Talapati, Nayagan, Roja, that admiration for him didn't go. Then Mani sir pointed it out. Ravi, snap out of it. Come on, we have to do it together. This is an important thing which we should address. And he started saying things like, first of all, wherever he sees is his kingdom, his people, everything is his. He's politically correct, he's socially correct. And how he is with his family, how he is with the other kings, how he's constructed so many dams at the age of 19, 20, that's in the book. So these are the things which he said, and I started getting that into my head. And Mani sir told, be in the same mood, get out of my office, not so rudely, go out of my office, be Rajaraja Sola for 6 months before shoot. This cannot happen in a day. So I tried that. I went to my house, sat on my terrace. I saw the people around, all the people are my people. Basically, I love my people, every person. And I started realizing that. And then there was the beach. Then I saw the beach. That beach is also mine. There is a 100 fleet of ships. It's there. Everything is mine. It started out comically, but it did help because our focus in the eye itself will change. We call it the focus shift, right? It'll change. It'll give you a larger vision. It's beautiful feeling. And I was Rajarajaswara for 6 months at home also, mostly. And when I came to the set, I didn't lose my kingdom, yeah. But that I didn't do it to my wife, no. So that was a beautiful experience. I really enjoyed it, and it's a difficult character because he has to be right to everybody. It's not possible, and he has to find a way to be right to everybody. So it's a brilliant character, and I love playing it. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, and thank you all for your questions. We would now request our star cast to please come forward for a photo.